kind to one another. If somebody voices an opinion, doesn't mean it's the truth, but it is that opinion of that person, right? So, respect, kindness comes into play. I think as human beings, we've lost touch with that. Honestly, is opinions of others. Everybody's talking about divided nations. Is everybody going to be divided? What's happening with that? We're only divided if you as an individual choose to do that, right? And as the masses grow, because each individual chooses to divide their opinion, then that's when it happens. So the only thing I want to talk about today, and I think we lack this we lack it because we forget about it, is kindness, respect when it comes to talking to anybody in today's society. History normally repeats itself. So I always say this because we have history at our fingertips, right? And this is key and crucial. So go back and check the history. Go back and do your research. Don't listen to what others have to say. Do your own homework. Knowledge is key. Read. It is so key to read. Educate. And there's something that I'm teaching my kids in class, and I'm gonna leave you guys off with this. Flowers grow with water. So I always say this to my kids, when you're watering the flowers, when you're giving love and you're giving that education, and I do it over their head just to make them laugh. When you water and educate yourself, your brain grows, right? So instead of listening to other people, educate yourself. Education is key. On a higher level, frequency thinking about relationships and connections and what's important, not the money aspect. When I sat with you here, it was more about, okay, she has to recognize that she is really good at what she does and she can build a team on her own. And you came into the meeting, I feel like I'm betraying you wanting to do this. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. Right? Because I truly, and I wholeheartedly say this because that's one thing that yesterday interviewing, one of the brokers was that it was, I care. I care about your successes. I do. And I said, here's the thing. You put two kids with parents, with a father, let's say, or a mother, who's very negative, right? Two kids. You have to make the choice to want to be better. It doesn't matter what your environment is, right? So do you know how hard it is to be in a negative environment? And this job is negative. Let's be realistic. Sometimes brokerages are negative. Sometimes it's draining. Sometimes this job causes so much anxiety. You know this, right? But if you have positive reinforcement and you are constantly inundated with that, you triumph through it. And I always tell people, I'm like, this is not the worst of life. A deal going sideways is not the worst. What do I always say to you? Easy. I'll solve the problem. Let me take it. I'll get it for you, right? Because to me, that's not a challenge. We've been through challenging, situations. Yeah. Like emotionally with your parents, like with our fathers, you've been through that, D, where you thought in your mind, I cannot handle. So everything else after that is easy. That's what I try to tell people is connections are important. A positive frequency gets you that deal. People read you. If you have bad energy or you have a negative energy, do you not know that when you walk into a room, somebody comes into a room and you're like, you look at me, you're like, because you know when somebody's negative. Yeah. It's all, and Tesla teaches about this. It's all about frequency, right? It's a basic equation. It happens. You have a bad attitude, you have a negative attitude, people tell it in a room, right? We've all had that. Negative, people sometimes don't recognize that they're negative. They don't. You sit there and you're like, you're negative, and they're like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, are you kidding? No, you are. You're negative. Do you not know you're negative? There's a point where now, I'm not even kidding you, even if it's an underwriter, a lender, which, shout out to all the great lenders and underwriters out there. All of mine are phenomenal. But to all the lenders, and sometimes I'm like, okay, stop. Can we think positive around? And they're like, well, I am positive. No, you're not. You're really negative about this deal. Let's think, if you're having a bad day, step away from the deal. When you're ready, come back to this deal and let's look at it together. Speaking on this account, when it comes to struggles, I think people forget that we are all human. Regardless of what status you hold, regardless of anything that you're going through, we still feel the same emotion that every other counterpartner feels. But I think what we forget is you can't be positive all the time. So in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, but you still have to go through that emotion to feel it, to release that emotion, right? So if I'm going through the grieving process, I still need the time to take to myself to get through that emotion. Just like this could be applied to anybody, right? Whatever struggle you're going through, you have to feel the emotion to get through it. Nobody is like a Titan where they think I can get through this without feeling this emotion. Oh, I'm positive. I meditate every day. I'm perfectly fine and I can get through this. We're not all gonna have a perfect life, but it's the way you deal with your emotions that's gonna help you. You know, when it comes to gratitude, and I always say this to people that, you know, sit there and complain, right? We have those complainers, Jamie. Let's be realistic. The people that complain, they're like, nothing's going good for me. The small wins don't matter. I need to win the big wins. And I'm only saying this because I like to look at all the little small wins I get in life, you know, because that is gratitude. That is always gratitude, right? And even if something went left field, maybe it went left field for me to have a big win, right? So, you know, I'm more on the topic of, you know what? I want to give gratitude for every situation I go through, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And those lessons teach us things. Those lessons advance us in life. If you tell the universe, you know, you're upset about a situation, or, you know, you're not happy about something not moving quicker or not going faster or not going on your time, you're basically just telling the universe, yeah, I don't care about the small wins that you gave me. I just care about winning the big. So, you know, and so things are always going to go against you. But if you look at every situation and hold gratitude in your heart, 100%, you will win, and things will just start to work out in your favor, right? If we sit there, the universe only communicates through our emotions. So if I hold gratitude in my heart for every single item that happens in my life, I'm going to continue to advance in life, and I'm going to continue to level up. Even if the situation is stirring up my whole life and it turns my life upside down, there is a reason for that happening, right? It's a reason for us to level up. We live our own life and we live from our perspective. So every lesson that happens in my life is not the third party teaching them, it's teaching me a lesson, right? And I feel that we get caught up in emotions, we get caught up and we lose the lessons. So what does the universe do? And you always do this. Everything, it's the same situation and it happens in threes. Oh my gosh, the second thing bad happened. Now a third bad thing's gonna happen. That's you telling the universe and welcoming the universe to give me bad. Continue to give me bad. Thank you for, when you voice it, you're letting the universe know you want it. So all I'm saying is, just for once, and I don't know, Jamie, if you've started this or you've transitioned to do this, and I know we've talked about it, when things do happen that go sideways in your life, start giving gratitude. Start asking the universe, what are you teaching me? What is this lesson teaching me? So I can advance and level up.